So there's been a lot of buzz lately around the use of AI to help with academic research and writing. So in this video, I'm going to give my thoughts on this, but I'll get the positives out of the way first. So I think AI can be incredibly useful, especially for passing through large amounts of data or for doing things like transcription or proofreading. And I also think it can be an excellent learning tool. And generally speaking, it's probably going to be important for a lot of researchers to know how to use AI effectively. However, there are also huge risks to using AI, both on a personal level and for academia in general, and you need to be very, very careful about how you use it. Now, in some ways, the risks are just the same as with any use of software. For example, with statistical software, it's very easy to plug in numbers and get statistical information out, saving a huge amount of time compared to doing it manually. But in some ways, it's too easy to use, meaning that you can get statistical information without necessarily understanding what the software is doing on your behalf, or even what the numbers mean, or whether they are appropriate to use. So you need to have a certain amount of statistical knowledge to be able to interpret the data correctly, or to check whether there's a mistake. But all too often, researchers just copy and paste from the software, and all too often, this gets past the reviewers. AI multiplies the potential for these kinds of problems, with some people talking about using it to automatically generate papers directly from the raw data. Now, if you don't know what the AI has done to analyze the data, which may not necessarily be what it says it's done, but you then put your name on it, you're responsible for it. Now, a good reviewer or examiner should catch it, especially in the case of a PhD defense where you have an examiner who gets to ask you questions. But even if you get away with it, it could be worse for you in the long run. Because if you get caught later, this could mean potentially losing your job several years after the fact. So, if you're using AI, and again, to those who comment on videos without actually watching them, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it, but if you do, I think you should follow Kevin Kelly's take on it. And that is that AI is like an intern. You can get it to do certain useful tasks, but you have to check its work. This means that no matter how good AI gets, you still need well-developed research skills to be able to check what it's done. And no matter how good AI might be at summarizing papers, you still need to be able to read and understand them yourself. And no matter how good ChatGPT is at generating text, you still need the ability to write and express yourself clearly. So as long as you have those skills, I think it's absolutely possible to use AI efficiently and ethically. But my worry is that AI will make it too easy for those who want to cheat. There have always been people willing to fake data just to churn out papers. But if we end up with AI-generated papers, citing other AI-generated papers, potentially even being reviewed using AI, then we're in real trouble. But my hope is that this just makes the human factor more important. And maybe at some point, conferences will become the dominant forum for peer review in the future, because humans will be able to ask questions to other humans. And then maybe the whole process will become more transparent. Just a thought. So I don't want to be too negative about AI. As I've said, by all means, use it, but use it carefully and make sure you know enough to be able to check what it's done and make sure that you can defend what it's done if you're going to put your name on it.